Hey guys, what's up? I'm Joe, this is the Rebels Advocate, and welcome to episode 2 of Wail, Wail, Wail. I'm getting off to a bad start. Here we go. I told you guys I was going to make a video like the day before, so you could comment on it, and you may have noticed I forgot. So let's try this again. How about new thought, new plan? That's probably going to happen a lot, I imagine, that I'll forget to do that, and it's kind of seems like a lot of trouble. So how about this? If you want to get a comment out, and I apologize for not getting one for this week, but if you want to get a comment out, or a statement, or a question, or if you just want to get on there and say, Joe, you suck, or tell me how ugly I am, anything like that, do it on this week's video. Like, you know, if you comment on this video, then I'll read it next week's, next Monday, and then so forth and so on. So we'll just read every week. I'll just read the comments that are, you know, unless the comment, well, we'll just read the comments from the previous week. How's that? Will that work? I swear, I'm sorry guys. Kind of, I would say I've had a lot going on, but I ain't had a lot going on. That would be a lie. I just have a hard time of focusing and staying organized and staying on task. Something I'm working hard on. We'll talk about that more later. So, what have I been up to since last Monday? Not much, you know, the usual, arguing with racists and bigots. You know, that's always fun or aggravating. It's kind of like, you know, arguing with racists and bigots. It's kind of like going to elementary school and bullying the kindergartners. You know, it's just, I mean, it's kind of fun, you know, but it's kind of too easy also. And they're not real smart. But you'll never win, right? You'll never win against a kindergartner. He'll just, and you walk away like, you know, I definitely had the better arguments. That kindergartner wasn't even making sense half the time, but you kind of feel like, you know, you didn't lose, but you really didn't win. You know, that's kind of the way it is. Only difference is if you were actually talking to a kindergartner, you would understand, you know, kindergartners lack knowledge, you know, they're too young, they haven't gained enough knowledge about the world. When you're arguing with racists and bigots online, it's kind of like, you know, are they ignorant or are they stupid? Are they willfully ignorant? You know, are they just hateful? You know, because there's a lot of different levels of racists and bigots, and you never know which ones you're really dealing with. I mean, they're all stupid, obviously, but, you know, at what level? So, I've been spending a lot of time doing that. Still not drinking. Probably fucked up here, because instead of grabbing me a water, I was like, coffee, because that's what I'm drinking now, a lot of. But well, no, take it back. Not a lot of. I'm drinking 1 cup to 2 cups a morning, and I usually don't drink it during the day. I'm supposed to start recording at 7 o'clock on Mondays. It is 10 o'clock. We just got home. We had to go out. We sold a few things on the yard sale pages, so we had to run out, deliver those. We come back and we stopped at my mom's house, and so we just kind of been down there sitting outside on the porch till dark, and came home. And so I'm getting a late start, so that's why I'm back here in the bedroom. And try to make this one short and sweet if I can, because I don't want to take up the bedroom too long. Plus, we're trying to get on a new schedule. So I had a really productive therapy session Friday, this past Friday, and I don't know, learned some things, pieced together some things, but at the end of it, I come out and I talk to my wife, and I'm like, I do this almost every week. Well, I get really excited. You know, I have therapy and I'll talk through things, and I get excited about trying to make things better. Uh-oh, Peyton's crying. She gets grouchy at bedtime. So I came in and I'll make up all these plans of, you know, here's what I want to try to do now, you know, and then I never follow through. And so I come in to Carrie, and this is embarrassing to say, but I'm just going to say it. I've had a hard time. I'm out of work, and with my mental state, like trying to get on track, and there's been days I have laid in bed just to 1, 2 o'clock in the evening. Like, I can't get in bed at night, and when I do, I can't go to sleep. There was one day where, again, embarrassing to even say this, but I didn't get out of bed till 5:30 in the evening. And it sounds, you know, like I've said before, it sounds so simple, like, just get up, or, you know, what you need to do is this. If you would get up and you would, walk a mile, or if you would get up and exercise, or get up and have you coffee and do, if you'd set a routine, like, all those things sound so easy, but it's hard to explain to anyone that hasn't dealt with this, how difficult those things are. It's different between just needing the willpower to do something and fighting against your brain. I can't explain it. It's rough. So anyway, I work through some things in therapy, and I come in excited again, and Carrie is sitting in her chair, and I come in, and we have our therapy right together. Like, she has hers first. She goes to therapy at 10, then I go at 11. And due to the COVID, we haven't been going into the office. We do it via video. So usually what we do, because we like to get away, because you don't want to, I don't want to have my session in front of her, and she don't want to have her, it's not that we keep secrets, but you can't really be open. And so what we usually do is one of us stays in, takes care of Peyton, and the other goes out to the car. And that's where we have our little video sessions. We just go out in the car and do it. And so anyway, I come in the house, and she's sitting in her chair, and I just get on my knees and kind of, lean in her lap, and I was like, okay, I know I do this. Every week I have another crazy plan, a suggestion of what I'm going to do. I was like, but, this time I was like, I'm not setting crazy goals. I'm not like, I got to do this, this, and this every day. I was like, it's one simple thing. If I can just do that, I feel like other things will fall in place, like other positive things. And I was like, I want to go to bed by midnight and be up by 8. 12 to 8, that's 8 hours. Regardless, be in bed by 12, be up by 8. And if I can't sleep, oh well, and maybe if I don't sleep, that'll just help me be sleepy for the next night. And so obviously it's Monday, so I've only had 3 nights at that, but so far we have been successful. And already we've paid some dividends, because on Monday, Saturday, I guess it was, when we got up on Saturday early, one of the things that we did, because it did, if you lay in bed to noon, you get up and you're taking care of your kid, and it's real easy to let the day go by. And especially if you're already dealing with depression and dealing with all these things, like, it's just so hard. And so, one of the things we did, we have a back bedroom. Like last year, we'd go to yard sales and things like that, buy things, and then resell them, whether eBay, Facebook yard sale pages, whatever, and try to make a little extra cash. Well, over the winter we kind of got away from it, and two, I've just had trouble doing anything, and so the back room where we kept a lot of this stuff got so disorganized, and then of course we were just storing stuff back there, and so it just turned into a mess. So Saturday, that's I was doing some work, and Carrie just went in there and just everything that we needed to sell, she just pulled out in the living room. Our living room is a disaster right now, but it had to be done, because if we're going to clean that room, it's one of those things where everything's got to come out before you can put it all back in. And so so on that Saturday, we just posted. I was like, okay, we need to get back started on eBay, but I'm gonna pick out a bunch of stuff that I've kind of had trouble moving on eBay, and just price it to go, price it cheap, and put it on Facebook. And it took a couple days, but today we went out and we sold $185. That's $185 in our pocket today that was just sitting in that back room. And I was like, that's a product of us getting up and doing just a little bit of work, getting just a little bit of motivation. And of course, yeah, I'm getting up, I'm having my coffee of the morning. I made breakfast Saturday and Sunday morning. I made us sausage and egg and biscuits this morning, and usually Carrie's took care of dinner. This morning, Carrie made us pancakes and salsa. I can't do pancakes, and she made us, they were so good, pancakes and sausage, and I love sausage with pancakes. So I know you probably don't care about that, but that's what I'm trying to do, is get this new schedule, just baby steps of trying to pull myself out of this rut that I'm in. And I learned some things about my OCD, because I don't fully understand OCD. I know what I know about OCD is the outward things you see, and I know that's been a problem for me since, as far back as I can remember. I've always had certain tics and things that or you cannot I know a lot of people, you hear OCD, you think of a clean freak, or you think of somebody that counts things, or all even numbers, or whatever you think, and it can be any of those things. But there's so many different variations and versions, and if you ever see somebody with OCD and you don't have it, one of your first thoughts might be, that would have to be the easiest thing to quit. If somebody just has to flick a switch, and that's never been my thing. I've never had a problem with flipping light switches a certain number of times or anything like that. But I can tell you from the things that I do, it doesn't matter that you're doing it. If you told somebody to stop doing it, they don't have a choice. I literally, I don't know another way to say it. You don't have a choice. You will do it, or else. Your body feels like it will explode. And again, this is embarrassing, but I'm just gonna, here was mine, and this still creeps up at times, but I have a much better control on it now. But when I was a kid, and all the way up into my 20s, I had this thing where I had to raise up and fix my underwear. No joke. It's like you had to pull it to the side. It felt like it was up in your crack, and then I would do that, and then immediately, as soon as I did it, it felt like it just slid back, and it wasn't. And my whole rear end, my entire body, my head, everything would get, and I would be sitting there and it's really bad if you're sitting say church, and they're or somewhere where people are behind you, and or looking at you, or across from you, any kind of setting like that, and you're just and like, and I couldn't hardly make it 5 seconds, and I would have to lean up and do this again. Like, I mean, you can't even imagine how embarrassing that is. Now imagine being in your 20s, hanging out with your friends, and you jump in the back of a vehicle and you're smushed in between people, and your brain's trying, and you're trying to make any excuse, like lean up, you know, or grab a seat and pull up like you're doing something else, and then kind of sneak back as you're going down, like trying to hide it. It's like, so you can imagine that level of embarrassment. If, like, at that age, there's no way you'd do it. If you could control that at all, you wouldn't do it. Guess what? You can't. You can't stop it. It took me years to get it to the level of control I got it now, and it still creeps up. But here's what happens. If you do beat it, if you do conquer that habit, almost every time another one pops up. There'll be something else. And so I was talking to my therapist about it. Like, right now, one of the hard ones I have, and you guys may have noticed this like as long as a year or so back, because I've made a few videos in my car, and you may notice that I sit weird in my car, and this is something I do. Like, I kind of, when I sit in my car, I have to shift kind of like this, and it's all about the touch and on my back, and so the other day I had to drive somewhere, and I was all by myself. I'm rarely by myself in the car, and so I become hyper aware of what I was doing, and so I was like, okay, just straighten up, you know. You can sit straight in the seat, and it's like I would just slowly turn. It's like it felt, when I sit straight, I feel crooked, and my back, the touch is just not good. And but I fought that for about 5 minutes, and then I thought, okay, you know, I'm sitting like this. What's this really hurting? You know, why am I torturing myself trying to fit it with, when in reality, if I don't think about it, I'll just ride like this and nothing's really harmed. It, you know, it's not that stupid. And if that's my thing, if that's the thing that I have to do now, it's like one of the less invasive things that I could have. So it's kind of like, if I'm going to have a thing, that's as good as any. And I was talking to my therapist, and she kind of agreed. She's like, it's, you know, it's actually true, because if you beat it, more than likely, you know, there'll be something else coming in its place. And I've had so many different ones. But anyway, I've always known about those things with OCD. That's kind of the easy. What I didn't understand was mentally what that could do, and I think there's still some questions about it, but just your obsessive thinking. And I'm not going to go into detail about it, but I have certain reoccurring thoughts. Like scenarios, there's places in my head that I go to continually, like I'm always in. I can't control, like, even I don't know, I get almost transported somewhere else. I could be talking with someone, but then in my mind, we could be sitting in my living room, but in my head we're somewhere else that I go. And I've done that since I was a kid. And so I found out that, you know, I always thought that was just something weird I did that I didn't understand. And I found out a lot of that could be from my OCD. I've had a song, you know, you hear people talk about getting songs stuck in your head. I've had a song stuck in my head since 1991. Somewhere in there, somewhere in the early 90s, I've sung the same song from when, you know, I think the song come out in 1991, I believe. I don't know the first time I heard it, but from the first time I heard it, that song has been stuck in my head ever since, to this day. I'm 40 years old. and I sing it all the time, and it doesn't really bother me, like, because I still have songs that get stuck in my head, like on a daily basis, like uh, those songs that'll come and you'll sing them all day long. I still have that happen, like other people do, and those kind of annoy me. But this one you would think this one that's been stuck in my head since the '90s, you would think would just have already drove me insane. But for some reason, it doesn't bother me. The only time it bothers me is when I'm around people I'm really close to. Every now and then I'll have days where, and it has to be somebody I'm really close to, almost like my wife or something, that I'm just, act goofy in front of. But, and it's not all the time, but there'll be days where, because I'm hyper or whatever, like, I'll sing it over and over out loud. And that's, a little frustrating. It frustrates me because I'm like, fuck, stop. But and then literally, 30 seconds later, I might belt it out again, and I can only imagine how frustrating it is to her. Which my wife is very good at tuning me out when that's necessary. But I got to thinking about a lot of, like, how I obsess over certain things, how these thoughts are reoccurring and all of this. And so also I can't remember, my memory is so bad, but I can't remember if I told you guys this, but she informed me a while back that I had PTSD from church and from the school I went to, which was basically a church school, from that kind of upbringing, because of how, just some of the things involved. She's like, you realize you have PTSD from this? And I was like, no, because I don't fully understand PTSD either, but it makes sense. And so she told me that a while back, and I've been thinking a lot about this OCD thing, because I wanted to ask her about these reoccurring thoughts, and some of them were so silly, I had not told her up until this past week, because they're just kind of embarrassing. And when I told her, she's like, yeah, absolutely. So I was like, okay, if the OCD causes me to, dwell on things over and over and over and over, and then if I have this PTSD from religion, and by the way, this is a religious woman who diagnosed me with this, I was like, would that explain maybe why I have such a hard time of letting things go? Like when I'll say, okay, I'm not going to engage with anybody else on Facebook. I'm just like, maybe I'll make my videos, I'll do whatever, but I'm not arguing with people on Facebook. But yet I can't, like, I just can't let it go. Every time I see it, it just, and she's supposed to send me some books, actually, on OCD for me to read, but she kind of felt that I don't think she wanted to look into this a bit more. She wasn't ready to say yes, but she said it definitely seemed plausible that could be what's happening, and why I can't seem to get away from that, why that's, it eats up so much of my time, so much of my energy, it's just unbelievable. And I want to get away from it, but at the same time, it's like, somehow I can never, you would think I would quit being shocked, but it's just like, every day it's just a new level of low that people stoop to. There was an article in my local news, Facebook, local news, their Facebook page shared, I'm sure you guys heard about the police officers that got fired in North Carolina for saying just horribly racist crap, for bragging about wanting to go out and kill, I'm not even going to say the word, just horrible things and they got fired. And so my local news reported on that, and I was like, surely no one in a comment. There's no way. I mean, they're bad. They're racist bigots, but you know, they're subtle enough. They're not going to take a fucking A, man. Clicked on the comments. It's like the first one. Whatever happened to free speech? One woman was bragging about her dad was in the KKK to the day he died. What an abomination it is for people to marry mixed race. You're just sitting there like, there's no way. Like, these people really exist. Or just... So how can you not just fuck with those people, you know? And so, it's like, well, there's my Tuesday, you know? I'm gonna be arguing with racists today. And, here we go. Fuck them. And then, apparently, also, I attacked some people. I found out just tonight, actually. I was asked why I attacked a certain person. Attacked them. And the reason and what it was is someone... maybe you guys have seen these memes going around of Squirrely Dan. You know, Squirrely Dan from the TV show Letterkenny. I love that show, Letterkenny, and Squirrely Dan is like the sweetest character ever. Very progressive, nice guy. It's a hilarious show, but it really pissed me off because they were putting these horrible words to him as if he was saying it, and I was like, of all people, like, I know, first of all, like, I don't know the actor himself, but the character definitely wouldn't approve of these things. It's like the exact opposite. And then just tonight, it just so happened I kind of got bitched at a little bit for saying something to somebody about it, and I also saw the actor posted something basically saying, yeah, I've seen the memes and fuck all that, you know, that's not me. I don't agree with that, you know. Literally said, report them. And but anyway, so they posted a meme of Squirrely Dan saying, and I may get this a little wrong, but basically saying, ain't it funny how if you ain't doing nothing illegal, the cops don't seem to bother you? The cops don't seem to bother you if you ain't doing anything illegal. Something to that effect. And my comment to this person was, I mean, I could have been an ass, you know. But I said, well, I would tell you to ask Breonna Taylor if that's true, but you can't, because the cops barged into her door without knocking and murdered her in her own home. That was my comment. And I was told I shouldn't attack people. That was attacking him. It's like, don't attack him, he's my friend. So apparently, just stating facts is attacking people. You know, because he's a good church feller. I go to church with him. He's a good church feller. That was, you know, kind of the argument. He's my friend. I go to church with him. He's a good boy. He's a good old boy, you know. Well, he's full of shit. And I just shared some facts. I didn't, which, again, they're Christians, so their definition of attacks is a little different. So it I guess it makes sense. But it's just, I wanted to argue a little more with that person about really this, but at that point, it's just, I'm trying to avoid it. I'm trying to avoid the online fights. Just, it don't go anywhere, but every time I say that, every time I try to pull back some. I'll have somebody message me, some random person that I don't know message me. And in some cases it'll be somebody I do know, but that I never really knew their opinions or thoughts on anything because, you know, they never get involved in any arguments. But I'll get like a message like, hey, you know, thanks for speaking up about this, or I appreciate what you said the other day about that. You know, I can't say it because of this reason or that reason, or my family will disown me, or whatever it might be. But, you know, I appreciate you kind of putting it out there, like saying what I want to say. And, every time I get something like that, it's just like, I have to reassess. I'm like, okay, you know, you think, nah, it does no good arguing with racists all day, arguing with bigots all day, arguing with just straight up fucking dumbasses all day. But, you know, does it, maybe give somebody else the courage to stand up? You know, I've said in past videos about my past, you know, what a fucking piece of shit I was. It's like, man, why didn't people fucking put me in my place, man? You know, I couldn't be the person I was then. I couldn't be that person today, and not catch flack for it. Oh man, they would have probably already made a meme of me because I would have already done something so goddamn stupid. That's what a fucking dumbass I was. I mean, I was straight up one of those people you would have said, fucking, you're wasting your breath on that son of a bitch. He'll never change. That's a fucking bigoted, racist motherfucker. You know, he ain't gonna change. Oh, I would have been the biggest goddamn trumper. I'm telling you guys, if I hadn't changed, I would have been the biggest goddamn MAGA hat wearing, rebel flag waving son of a bitch you ever come across on the internet. And the more memes they made about me, the more I'd probably just buy into it. Goddamn, like, it's scary. It's scary to think where I could be if I hadn't just, I guess, had something inside of me that was seeking the truth. Yeah, that reminds me. I literally forgot, but that was something I wanted to talk about. I thought about it a couple days ago. Like, you know, somebody asked the question on the last video of, like, was I always, you know, more liberal, progressive, or, you know, did that change with my atheism, or, you know, whatever. And I was talking, you know, kind of answered that before, but it's hard to, I realize it's hard for anybody to understand where you're coming from, because there's probably more of us than we realize, but there's not a whole lot of people who live half of their life just normal, like, you know, anybody else, just with all their core beliefs and understandings of the world and knowledge. It is what it is, you know, however they were raised, believe, you know, whatever. There's very few people that live half of their life that way, and then just, and my transformation didn't happen overnight, but in the grand scheme of things, when you step back and look at your life, it's kind of like a boom, like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't happen overnight. It took time, but it is such a radical change in such a short amount of time. Like, I literally did well, not literally, I don't guess, but I did a 180. I like using the word literally wrong, but, you know, I have literally done 180s. You know, I'll do one now. You know, I ain't scared of doing 180s. I'll do a 360. I don't give a shit. There. So I literally did a 360 just now. I did two 180s actually, but anyway, like my life changed so drastically. Like, and if you haven't experienced that, it's hard to explain how traumatic that is. And I actually thought about this after Friday, I think. And it's probably something I need to talk to my therapist about again. But, you know, I wonder if that could be where some of the PTSD comes from. It is not just the upbringing, not just the indoctrination, just not all the horrible things that got thrown at me, but then to kind of almost wake up one day and realize everything you know, at least, not everything you know, but all the, like, important things that the foundation that you built all your knowledge upon is wrong. Everyone that you trusted, and I do, as far as I know, I do mean everyone that I trusted, was wrong, lied to me. Maybe not on purpose, not purposely, but they had been lied to. Just perpetuating the lie that had been sold to them. And to have to try to shake yourself at that age and rebuild your life is, fuck, it was overwhelming. And I know I'm not the only person that's dealt with that, but I don't think a large number of people have had that happen, at least not that drastically. Yeah, there's people that, I used to be a Republican, now I'm a Democrat, or vice versa. There's people that change their views on things. There's tons of people that, were against gay marriages years ago, and they slowly come around, but to just change your views on almost everything, like, and like I said, it wasn't like overnight. It wasn't like I was some right-wing religious nut one day and the next day I was some liberal progressive. A lot of those things took time, but what didn't take time is it took me a while to get there, but what I knew is I was working on it the whole time, because I knew I have to re-examine everything. Absolutely. Like, once you realize that everybody you ever trusted just was selling you a fucking pack of lies, it's like nothing's off the table. Every single thing I believe, every single thing I know, I've got to re-examine it. Guys, when you're that old and you gotta look at evolution and think, oh shit, you mean tell me maybe the world's not 6,000 years old? Imagine that shit. You mean tell me that maybe evolution, evolution, here, my education in school about evolution was, oh yeah, there's this other thing where they said blah, 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 basically we come from monkeys. That was about as far as education I got on evolution was, yeah, some people think we come from monkeys. Like, and now, here I am halfway through my life, and I gotta, like, oh shit, maybe that's true too, because if God ain't real, where did we come from, And I didn't, and that's the thing, when I become atheist, I didn't accept evolution automatically. My first thing was, okay, that's not true, so is evolution true? It wasn't like, oh, I guess I believe evolution now, It really didn't happen like that, because I just re-questioned everything. And then, when it was easy, like, as far as, like, say, being against gay people, I could still use my own reasoning of why I was against the gay lifestyle, or the gay choice, as I called it. You know, it's a choice. You know, I use my own reasoning against that. But it's so much easier when somebody comes at you and says, okay, here's some facts to throw at you. And then you start observing things. You know, and I think the deal breaker for me was, you know, I got old enough to watch some kids grow up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there were kids that was quite a bit, you know, when I was still a kid, basically, probably a teenager, and they were kids, and I remember like, man, that, this kid kind of seems gay. Like, just to be honest. And they were too young to make that choice. That's, and that's hard to fit together in my brain. Like, you know, because I thought being gay was something you got older and just decided. Like, you just got older and you're like, you know, as a guy, you just like, I wonder what dick's like, you know. Like, I think I'll try that for a little while. But somehow, you know, but once you take religion out of it, now I don't have anything holding me to that belief. Does that make sense? Like, nothing, like with religion, you kind of have to believe it. Like, when people come at you with facts, you're like, no, it don't matter. I've got this Bible, and like, my whole world, my life is structured on this Bible. If you take that away, I have nothing, okay? But once you do take that away, now those facts, I can listen to them. Like, okay, I have finally stopped and be like, okay, I want to know the truth, no matter what, about everything. Hit me with some facts, you know. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this happens, really, this happens in all, you know, basically all animal species? Really? So, I mean, when I say being gay isn't natural, you're basically telling me, well, it is. And here's the weird thing about, I find this so funny about the saying of being gay isn't natural. Because a lot of times the rebuttal to that is, well, it happens in all of these other animal species. It's been observed in so many animal species, and, you know, almost to a percentage that kind of equates to the percentage of gay people in the human species, right? But I got thinking about it later, and I was like, actually, none of that matters. That whole argument doesn't matter. Who cares if you can prove that some animals are gay or not? Because the fact that humans are gay proves it's natural. But, like, for some reason we feel like we're excluded from nature. That makes no sense. We are nature. Like, everything's, you know, nature. Like, we're not outside of nature. So the very fact that there are human beings that are gay proves that being gay is natural. Who would have known? But, you know, if you need the extra encouragement, it happens in our animal species as well. So, there's that. Boy, I'm off on tangents today. What was I even talking about? Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Just that drastic of a life change, you know, to go from, honestly, the most absurd meme you can think of just a right-wing religious nut. That would be me. And then now here I am, wherever you want to put me on the left, somewhere on the left. You know, I'm a gun-toting liberal. I mean, I don't carry guns very often, but I got a bunch of guns over there. I got guns over there locked away. But I eat meat, so I'm not a vegan. But, you know, I'm fairly liberal, I guess, at least in America. Some people in other countries laugh what we call liberal here in America. Like, holy shit, you guys are, like, your liberals are right of our conservatives. I will tell y'all this, though, and I hate to get serious on you, but I'm not wearing new underwear this week. You know, last week I was feeling really good. I had new underwear on. This week I'm not. And here's the bad thing. Like, before I got the underwear I'm wearing right now, before I got my new underwear, the underwear I got on right now was my favorite underwear. Before I got the new underwear. Like, normally I would have pulled these underwear out and been like, oh yeah, these are my favorite underwear. I feel great wearing these. But now, you know, I got those new underwear, and it's just like I pull out this pair now, which would have normally made me happy, and I'm just like, fuck. Like, these old things. So it's made me not appreciate the last new set of underwear I had. I mean, they're colorful and everything. These have collar to them. It's just not the same, y'all. Apparently I wore all my new underwear and they're all dirty, I guess. So that's probably one reason my mood's been down. Sorry for kicking this table. That's probably one reason my mood is down, is just these underwear. They're just not up to the level that I want my underwear. If I had a podcast, you know, maybe I could be sponsored by MeUndies, and I could get some MeUndies, you know, because I hear those are super comfortable. At least all my podcast friends seem to really love MeUndies. They're almost as good as Stamps.com, I hear. Stamps.com? What's Stamps.com? Stamps.com, you ask? I'm just kidding. I'm probably going to get off here because it's almost 15 to 11. And I need to get this video uploaded, I guess. Well. Episode 2 in the books. I'm sorry I bored you this time. But remember, okay, two things I did want to touch on. I didn't have hardly anything wrote down for this week. Sorry about that. But two things I'd like to say. One, I've been thinking a lot about making more videos with my family in them, and you know, videos with my daughter and stuff like that. And I make all kinds of videos with my daughter. I video my daughter all the time, but not really actually making videos to like publish. And so I was like, well, maybe I could make a separate YouTube channel or something, you know, just for videos like that. But I hate, it's like, it's just too much, you know what I mean? And so I was like, well, with this I made a playlist, like, I don't know if you noticed, for these episodes. I'm going to put all these episodes in one playlist. That way, if you ever wanted to go to them, you can go to the playlist. They'll be easy to find in order. And so I was like, well, I can always just make a separate playlist of, like, family. And if they're just videos of my family, there's no point to them, or, you know, whatever. Maybe, you know, I don't know. Anything like that I wanted to post, I could put it in that, put it under the playlist family. That way, if you guys care and want to watch, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. And I'll put them in their own little slot. So I might do it. One of the reasons I haven't, again, it's just vanity. Sometimes I get embarrassed. It feels like my house is falling apart. When, you know, like I've told you before, I don't live in a big house. I got a double wide trailer. Like the song, the old Sammy Kershaw song. My wife, I made her the queen of my double wide trailer with the polyester curtains and the redwood deck. But thank God she ain't run off yet. Cause that woman run off in the song. But anyway, but it's just like, it feels like things are falling apart, you know. And so in my head, I was always like, hopefully one day we can get a better place, and then I can, you know, I won't be ashamed to make videos anywhere in the house or whatever. But at some point I was just like, you know what, fuck it. It is what it is. Like, you know, it ain't like I put on a front in front of you guys, like, you know, I mean, I basically told you guys, hey, I'm just a dirt poor hillbilly that lives in the hills. I mean, it ain't like I'm trying to put on a show here, so who gives a fuck? You know, this is my life. This is who I am. This is where I live. And so I just ain't gonna let stuff like that bother me anymore. Fuck it. And so, especially when it comes to making videos of my family, my daughter. And so that might be something I might do. Might make some videos, just lighthearted videos of the family. If y'all want to watch, you can. But I'll probably just stick them on this channel. You know, I have another channel. I have just a regular channel that I've had for years and years with my name on it, but I think I have like 2 or 3 videos on it. But I'd rather just put them on this video, this channel. Just keep them separate. That way, if anybody's interested, if you're like, well, I would like to know more about Joe from the Rebels Advocate and his family, then you can watch or whatever. Okay, I said there was 2 things, didn't I? What was the other thing? I don't know. I think maybe what I was going to say, just remind you guys again, if you want to leave a comment for next week, leave it on this video. And then next week, leave a comment on that one for the next week, you know, so on and so forth. And then the comments on this video, I'll read next Monday when I record. Get on there, say some shit. I don't give a damn. Tell me I'm a fucking idiot. I'll read it on there. I don't care, because I am an idiot. And I probably deserve it. Roast me. Or tell me you love me. And that I'm the greatest thing that ever happened to your life. And you don't know where you'd be without me. Guys, I gotta go to bed in an hour. And I'm finishing off a cup of coffee. That's good. But thank you guys. This is episode 2 of Well. I'm still on track. We're still doing it. I may have been late, but I still did it, by God. And I plan on keeping on doing it. And I love you guys. And we'll see you next Monday. Maybe before. Might make a video before. Who knows? I'm on fire. I'm getting up at 8 o'clock. Doing this shit. Fuck it. Yeah. I'm hooked up. Bye.